Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back. I hope your day is off to a great start. I have several more in-depth candle reviews that are ready to go as of today. So I will be having those videos scheduled to go live throughout the day today. I'm just going to kind of evenly space them out. We are going to be kicking it off with a Bath & Body Works candle, but I also have some more Kringle Reserve reviews that are ready. So those will be the other two videos that are going live a little bit later on today. If you're not already subscribed and you are interested in more of my home fragrance content, definitely hit that subscribe button right below the video here. That way you'll be notified of all of my new content as soon as it goes live here on my channel. Anyway, let's kick off today's reviews with Bath & Body Works Roasted Pumpkin Butter. And when this candle was first teased over on Instagram before it was, ever released online, there was some chatter about this maybe, hopefully, potentially being a return of a couple of different fragrances from the past from Bath & Body Works. Now, personally, I was in camp Roasted Pumpkin Butter. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It is from many, many moons ago. I mean, it was released probably well over a decade ago at this point. And it is honestly one of my top favorite fragrances that Bath & Body Works has ever released. And it has not come back since its original release, with the one exception of when it was in this like tri-colored candle that they released randomly one year. I don't know. Raise your hand if you remember this candle. It had like it had 3 different layers of Bath & Body Works fragrances. One of them I think was sweet cinnamon pumpkin, and then they tossed the roasted pumpkin butter in there and then something else. I didn't bother buying that because I just wanted the roasted pumpkin butter. I don't know why they haven't re-released it. I feel like it would sell so insanely well, but these are the mysteries that go unsolved, I guess. A lot of people were hoping that this was maybe the pumpkin peanut brittle, which honestly I wasn't crazy impressed with, but I know that there is a lot of love for that fragrance. So a lot of people were hoping for that, but my hopes were dashed in terms of this being the return of roasted pumpkin butter. It is indeed what I guess you could call a new fragrance. It does say on here that it is obviously limited edition, as you can read. It's not from the vault, so it would not make sense that it was a re-release. It is a new scent, and it does it does smell new to my nose. But I will say, I don't think this is one of those terribly exotic or like unheard of type of fall fragrances. I think in some ways, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but in some ways it smells a little bit generic, in that I think this type of fragrance is, and the exact way that it is formulated is pretty common this time of year. So let's go ahead and dig in, because just as like its own candle here, just its own thing, I think this is a lovely scent. Again, a little generic, but incredibly well done. And as of right now, it's still burning okay, but I can definitely see these wicks kind of dwindling down. Actually, as I'm filming this video, I can see the wicks starting to dud out already. So I have a feeling I'm gonna be crocking this one, but it's fine. I still like the fragrance. So let's read through the scent notes. I'll tell you what I smell here. We'll talk strength and throw, and then we'll get to the dreaded overall burn quality, which, like I said, is kind of deteriorating right before my eyes here. Okay, so they say that this smells like a smooth, spiced seasonal spread. And the fragrance notes are pumpkin spice, creamy nut butter, and a sprinkle of cinnamon. So what do I smell? Okay. I definitely smell a really nice, I guess you could say kind of generic pumpkin puree type scent. It's a very authentic pumpkin, so in that regard, it's a wonderful fragrance. It smells like the real thing. I feel like there is kind of the perfect amount of spice here. The cinnamon is definitely present and noticeable. It's not a red hot cinnamon. It's a really soft, more like Ceylon cinnamon. But I also get a little bit of nutmeg here. It's not mentioned in the fragrance notes, but I definitely smell nutmeg in addition to the cinnamon. Now, the specific nut butter that I'm smelling here is, I feel like kind of in a way, a little combination of some different nut butters maybe mixed together. So I feel like I smell a little bit of peanut butter, a little bit of almond butter, and maybe even a little bit of like a sunflower type butter. Like if you mixed all three of those together, I feel like you would get the like nutty portion of this part of the fragrance here. I like the scent, you guys. I think this is delicious. I think it smells authentic. Is it super like unheard of in the fragrance world? No. This isn't revolutionary. This isn't, you know, anything exotic. It's pretty straightforward, but it is really well done and I am enjoying the heck out of it. I did purchase 2 of these candles originally. I also purchased 2 of the donut shop, by the way, if you missed that haul video. But I disliked the cold sniff of the donut shop so much that I immediately took one of them back and exchanged it for something else. I did review the donut shop last week, so I'll link that in the description box if you missed that one. I like it a lot better burning, by the way. It smells a heck of a lot better burning than it did on cold sniff, but I think this one here is definitely the far superior fragrance out of the 2 for me personally. I just really like this scent a lot. It is delicious. I will really enjoy the second one. And if I happen to come across this at a really good sale price at like an SAS or something, I would consider stocking up on this one. At least another 2 or 3 for next fall. It really is a lovely scent. I like this. I hope it sticks around. Strength and Throw. Okay, so up until this burn here, this has been pretty darn good in terms of overall strength and throw. If I were to just put my regular numbering system on it, I would easily say that this is between a 7 and an 8 in terms of strength, and also between a 7 and an 8 in terms of throw. That is usually the norm for me with my best performing Bath & Body Works candles these days. I do think that, you know, maybe 10 years ago, the candles were even a little bit stronger. But I think that the strength and throw for the price point is still very like adequate here. So good in that department, but let's discuss the burn quality. So this particular formulation was made with those really thick wax covered wicks that I like to call the tree stump wicks. I really struggle with these particular wicks in general because I think they tend to dud out on me the most. And what I mean by dudding out is, I'll give you guys an overhead shot here really quickly. I did not trim these wicks at all. I never trim these wicks. The most I will do is wipe off a little bit of the carbon residue with like a little tiny piece of paper towel, and I do that very carefully so as not to snap the wicks off. But they just don't stay very long, and so there just isn't much to trim. But these wicks, for whatever reason, usually at the halfway point, will burn down to essentially a nub, and that's what these guys are working on for this burn. You can really tell that these are not the super tall dancing flames that you usually get with Bath & Body Works candles. So it's kind of struggling to pull out a little bit. This has been lit now for about 20 to 30 minutes, and it's still not completely pulled out. Up until this point, it pulled out a lot faster. So that is definitely a clue to me that these wicks are starting to wind down a little bit, but they're just not very tall. So I anticipate that I am probably going to be crocking this one here very shortly. Now, I also want to turn this to the side here to where it has not pulled out completely, because then you can really kind of see this discoloration that has started happening with the wax. It has not affected the fragrance yet, but a lot of times when this starts to happen, it is because the residue from the wicks, like that black carbon, starts falling into the wax and it'll begin to discolor it. Now, sometimes that affects the fragrance and sometimes it doesn't. This level of discoloration has not affected the fragrance, but I think if it keeps going, it is gonna start affecting the way this candle smells. It's gonna just smell a little bit more smoky. It's just gonna have, I don't know. It's just not great, particularly I think with gourmand fragrances, to have that kind of smoky smell come into the picture here. So yeah, you can tell I'm a little disappointed at where this is going. I just know I'm gonna have to crock it. I will still be able to extract all of the fragrance oils out of it, and that's gonna be fine, but this is disappointing. I mean, to only be able to burn a candle to the halfway point before having to retire it to a crock is obviously less than ideal. But you know what? This is just kind of the norm that I have become used to when it comes to Bath & Body Works candles. So it just is what it is. But do I still recommend checking this one out? I mean, even though the overall burn quality isn't that great, I still think it is a really well done fragrance despite its kind of generic, I guess, aspects. It's just delicious. So I don't know. I'm still gonna give it 2 thumbs up. I wish that they would stop using these particular wicks. I'm sure there was a reason they use them, obviously. I mean, listen, I don't have a candle company, so I'm not gonna claim to know everything, but I just kind of feel like if you're using wicks like this and it's causing this to happen to your candles, isn't there an alternative? I don't know. But for what it's worth, I love the fragrance. I would definitely say check it out if you're interested, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Again, if you are new around here, definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button if you found this video helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and do stay tuned for the upcoming Kringle Reserve candle reviews. These are from the latest Reserve launch, so I have burned through almost like all of these candles at this point, so I really need to get them reviewed before they actually go into my empties piles. So make sure you stay tuned for those reviews a little bit later on throughout the day today, and I appreciate you being here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.